Today we're gonna talk about the FV215b 183, aka the Death Star. And I'll just let the intro play here because it is pretty special. And yes, that E-15 was staying there. Why? How can you not notice an FV in front of you? I mean, just how? Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, tankers of Blitz Universe, to the channel. My name is Martindogger, and like said, I'm going to provide you a review of the Death Star today. And I know that there will probably be people who will just dislike the video because it is in the Death Star. There will be people who dislike the video because they got hashed by a Death Star in a game before they decided to go onto YouTube. But I wanted to include it anyway because I've been driving the Death Star for a bit on the press account, clocking up to 300 battles, I think 400. And I'm slightly getting to grips with the gameplay, which is, in a way, fairly easy. Just drive up there, shoot 2 times, do 2.5k on average. But if you want to be more effective in the Death Star, then please watch on. If you're a new subscriber, thank you very much for coming in. If you haven't subscribed already, please click the button. And do remember to set your notifications and you will never miss an update again. And yes, like said, I want to show you 4 games in the Death Star and talk a bit about the statistics, because it is, in a way, the most epic supporting tank in the game. It can be a bit of a brawler, but that's not because of the armor, that's because of the gun and the damage it can dish out in just the one shot. And if you're lucky, if you have that new skill kicking in, or it isn't even new skill anymore, that light tank skill kicking in, giving you a max roll on a shot, that's going to be lovely. It's going to be an example in the game as well. But the 4 games I'm going to show you are fairly different in terms of gameplay and a bit in terms of damage as well. I'm getting shot here from the right, and you can see from the amount of damage 827. That has to be the red Death Star. But what you can see me do here as well is turn to the flank. I've noticed there's a T-62, our one on that flank. There's a T-57 heavy and the Batchat. That's 6 shots versus a high DPM machine and me being the very big derpy gun. Yes, 62, I'm going to help you. You're taking the right target. And this is what you have to do in the Death Star. Finish people off, like I did with the FV and with the T-57 heavy now, or really wear them down, soften them up, take 2/3 of your of the health off, maybe, especially if you manage to hit them with HESH. Because if you sit at the back like on the minimap or Grill is doing with the Death Star, you're doing it all wrong. You're not playing the tank to its strengths. And the biggest problem is, and that has been available from Bushka's video lately on the Death Star, I think it was about 8 months ago, the Death Star is becoming an issue related to potato. Yes, the Death Star can just sit at the back, shoot 2-3 times and then do 2.5 to 3k damage. And in most circumstances, given the average hit point pool of tanks, that can be enough, because 2.5k to 3k damage in 2 to 3 shots means you can take out a Morse, an E100, an IS-7, all sorts of tank like that. 2 T-54s, an Object 140, etc. You can do it, no problem whatsoever. But that's not the role the Death Star should play, I think. The Death Star should be at mid to long range in the beginning. You should be at a position where you can support your team. It's like I said at the beginning, it's the most epic supporting tank, because people will always think twice or maybe even 3, 4, 5 times before they move around, go out sideways, if they know where there is a Death Star. And here is the red Death Star. Whacks our T-62. He doesn't know where I am. Hello, here I am. I'm going to wait a bit for you to drop down and then blast you in the top for 1300 something, 1355. He is on a reload now. And I noted later, Dimeback Barrel from Legion is also Mike from Primo Clan. Both clans are fairly well known from Twisted Cup, and I had a chat with Mike afterwards, and he said dude, this guy was driving the wrong loadout. He had 6 AP and the rest was HESH only. I was actually driving the tank on this game before I realized, oh yeah, that it had been buffed. we can get more ammo now in the tank. I decided to up my ammo loadout, and I think I carry 10 on 5 now. 10 AP, 5 HESH, or 9 on 6 HESH. At least I have more AP. It used to be 12 shots, 6 on 6. I have more AP now than I do in HESH. And you can see 5.4k damage, 6 shots hit, 6 penetrating hits. This one was a real lovely one, 1225, and a full kill on the Red Death Star. And this was a bit frontlining of the tank, and I'm going to show you one more game before we go into the stats and numbers and slight armor profile using Blitz Hanger. Here I'm going to play the Death Star a bit in the role that it usually takes when average players play it. I'm not saying noobs, it's usually average players. You park it into a corner, you wait for your team to spot, and you wreck tanks. That's fairly easy in a Death Star. But it's a bit boring actually. It's not really fun to sit at the back, even if you do really massive rolls with the tank. But you can see already that Batchat popped. I know he won't be pushing onto the road probably, so I wanted to reverse back. Maybe I should have kept reversing, but we're going to delete this AMX50B together. Hello, firing squad behind me. I didn't expect that. Sorry to block the shot, AI7. Otherwise the AMX50B would have been gone early, but now he's dead. Why push on A like that? You know, we have a grill, I think. We have a Death Star. You have an autoloader, yes, for sure, but why push like that? He's going to go another big shot. It's not going up on the counter on the left, as you can see, but I'm on 1800 now damage by shot. And you can see I've shot and I went into cover. Because your armor profile on the Death Star is not yeah, it's trollish, it has some really good bits, but it isn't a real armor profile. It relies on angling and it has a bit of spaced armor. But if you are behind a building like that on Castilla, like that one, there's no threat on the left. There was no threat from any tank on the left. They are not pushing on C. I have not spotted anybody on B. I'm using my team as a shield to guard me from incoming red tanks. And what I'm going to do now is feast on their spotting. That means we're going to get only a second class badge from this game, because I'm doing a lot of damage on spotting from my team. You can see that T62 is at 287, maybe even 300. He's going to move back. I haven't got a shot, so I'll relocate just ever so slightly, and I'm going to get the shot. Look at this. Above 300, there we go. Eat 1008, happy days, and the grill finishes off. Would be a good duo in terms of shooting red tanks. You can get like 1k of them, and then the grill can finish off. And I've noticed that Leopard already. I've seen him, and I'm not going to shoot just yet. I want to get a big shot into him, maybe even a full roll, and I was thinking, right, he will never push into the A cap, and there we go. 60-25. Yeah, went right through. And he's done. 225 left. He's gone. He's a goner. I soften him up and the grill finishes off again. And they are on C now. At least one tank is. Maybe even two of them. But this is what you can do in the Death Star. You can just sit there, farm damage. But yeah, I would advise to go into a position where you can be successful. Where you can put the big shots in. Because in the end game, if it is, say, 1 to 2 or less tanks, if you have to drive a lot of distance and you don't have any spotters left, a Death Star is very weak. I've played a few Death Star games, or against Death Stars as well, on open test servers, on RU and also on EU, where people were thinking, right, we're going to drive a Death Star because we are testing other tanks, but we'll drive a Death Star. Yeah, lovely. Good job. Excellent. But I ended up from time to time on a 3-on-3 game with the Death Star. And you can see my reload is at 18.50. I'm using a rammer, not a calibrated shells. There's no need with the 310 penetration and the HESH penetration. I want to get as much shots out as possible. But it's near on 20 seconds. If you have a worse crew, it might well be 20 seconds. But that means that if I have find my gun, a T57 heavy who would be, he's in danger now. anybody around, especially 1k, is in danger, I'm not going to bounce a shot on his turret, just whack him straight through the front, and the I7 will finish off. Happy to take that shot. But you can see that T57 doesn't stand a chance against me in this circumstance. But if I had been sitting at the back and maybe have full hit points left, and a T57 would have had support from, say, the Leopard or the T30 or whatever, then I would have been in dire trouble. And I'm getting, again, 6 shots in, 6 penetrations, 6.1k damage, second class, because I was feasting on my teammates. Right. Quick look into stats, numbers and armor profile, and then we will do more games. And as said, we are going to use Blitz Hanger here for the comparison. FV215b 183 selected, and you can see from the tier 10 tank destroyers, your hit point pool isn't the best. View range 250 basic. Yeah, nearly best in class, but most of them have 250. DPM isn't very good. Penetration is best in class. Damage 930 per shot, so that helps a lot in your DPM. And if you use the HESH, 3.7k, just shy of 3.7 on stock, no provisions, whatever done. But yeah, then it gets really interesting. So yeah, you have to be able to switch ammo. You have to know the armor profiles of tanks, otherwise you can't be successful in this tank. And it's not a really good sniper because it has slow velocity. It doesn't lose a lot of penetration over distance, as you can see below as well. But yeah, it's not the most brilliant sniper. Your caliber is big, rate of fire appalling, reload time appalling. But yeah, it's the big gun. It is a mobile tank. Not as mobile as most of the tier 10 tank destroyers, the Jagdpanzer E100 obviously being the worst one. Backwards isn't bad. The power to weight ratio, it is not brilliant. But traverse, well, yeah, pretty good actually. If you know where to position yourself, because you are turreted but not completely turreted. My loadout for the tank, I'm going to show you why I use that as well. I have the black tee, the improved fuel and pudding tee. I use a gun rammer, improved modules, improved optics. Then I use the enhanced gun laying drive for obvious reasons. Improved assembly and improved control. I have a vertical stabilizer, a toolbox and consumable delivery system. And that then boats my DPM to 3k and with HESH 4.2k. It's working really well. In terms of armor profile, going down, viewing the 3D model, you can see it's not a lot, but this is something funky. It actually has 2 bits of space armor on those, yeah, what is it, frontal cheeks on the hull really. So that means that anybody who is thinking about using HE or heat on your hull to finish you off, it will catch on that. Obviously HE will do splash damage, heat will get caught on the space armor, and you have some very smallish side skirts as well. And your primary armor, it isn't thick, but you can see it relies on angling a lot. 157, that actually goes to 267. That means with RNG and with some of the tier 10 mediums, it might bounce. And if you will go back and forth and go behind a berm or behind a ridge, that goes to 268 and 351, 302 over there. So yeah, it's not a brilliant armor profile. 187 only at 50 degrees, 197, but look, if you can go hull down and you can get that bounce on the top plate, 318, that's a really lovely armor profile. The performance itself, not brilliant. Is it a long range sniper? No, average. Is it a peekaboo tank? Not recommended. Yeah, blah blah. You hide behind cover, fully reload your gun, pre-aim and sneak out just for a second to make one damaging shot. This is the ultimate. This is the ultimate peekaboo tank. It's not a frontline tank, at least not in the beginning. But in a way, it is a hit and run tank as well. Circle of Death to do it. It hasn't got a good turret, or it can't really do a Circle of Death. Yeah, and a 1 versus 1 brawl on average. But if you are a full hit point tank destroyer FV and you can go into a position where you can brawl and use some cover, then you can do very well. Got 2 more games to show you, so let's kick straight in. And the third game for today is on Black GOLDVILLE, as you can see. And this game is, yeah, it's a long one. It's going to go all the way down to the wire. bit of luck in the end, but it shows what you can do in the Death Star in terms of deleting tanks. It's a bit of a problem here because you can see the team is spreading out. We have a tank going towards the B cap, we have one tank in the cave, we have a tank capturing A, there's a tank still in spawn sitting there doing nothing. But what I want to do here is basically park myself here. I have a line of sight into the area where mostly the reds pop up. And I'm thinking, right, there is T-54 over there. I can see it from the hit points. Hello, T-54, and I'm going to wake you for 497. Not really a role that I would have wanted to do. But a tank out of the game is a tank out of the game. Again, I'm behind cover. I can reload and I can now start shooting some other tanks. And I'm going to be careful. There is a Type 61 there, juicy target. There is a T-57 there, juicy target. But those would have been very narrow shots. And you can see we're losing tanks already a bit because we have tanks all over the place. And reds are pushing into our spawn, and I can see a Chieftain Mark 6 rolling in as well. Make a bit of a mistake here. I do get spotted. Wasn't really necessary. Can I get a shot in? No, just not. And here it is target selection. This one's going into the back, into the engine deck of the T-57 Heavy. Get a bit of a low roll actually. I'm switching back to AP because I want to take a tank out, and I'm going to go for the next target now. And you can see it's constantly one-on-one in terms of taking tanks out. I have a Badger to my left, back left. I think the Chieftain Mark 6 is focusing on him, but I could put a nice little shell through his side armor and take him out. Lovely stuff. And you can again see I have cover. I know where the T-57 is. I know where more or less the E-100 is, and I know where the Death Star is. He's not popping up now, which is annoying. We are one tank in the lead. But this is the type of gameplay that, if you play it correctly and play it consistently, will help you do really well and really good and get you some really juicy games in the Death Star. And HESH, you can use that to just annihilate targets and just splash them to death. And I know I'm safe now from the Death Star. He is on a full reload and he knows it. He's backing up. Our I-7 is thinking, right, I can push in now. Bad move, because by the time now that Death Star is reloaded, I have loaded up the HESH. He wants to go for the I-7. I noticed from the corner of my eye that the E-100 was there. But this wasn't a bad trade, I think. I think this was worth the shot, getting the damage done and also getting the damage into me. And I notice what that Badger is doing. And I'm signaling a link to him, affirmative. He is trying to spot the E-100. And I press hold position just to make sure I tell him I'm reloaded. Most people know that if you push that button, say hold position, you are reloaded. I'm trying to get the shot in onto the E-100. It's not going to work out. I notice already that he is turning his turret. Yeah, I'm not going to risk it. I'm going to back off again, drop down over here, go forward, get some cover again. Maybe he will pop up over there. No, he won't. Badger, lovely job, mate. You are just rolling around. And this is smart gameplay. This is really smart gameplay. It's also going to be smart gameplay from the E-100 because he's going to go to A in a second. And I'm still thinking negative. You can't just sit there. I haven't got a shot made, Badger. You have to do something. And we are at 870 now, 875, still going up. The clock is ticking, and the E-100 is going to cap our base. And that's what I was already thinking. Right, he's going over there. Right, I'm going to reposition that. Maybe I could have stayed in the spot where I was. Not sure. Maybe I would have had a shot on the E-100. But it's going to be way better for me to push around now to the flank, because that E-100 knows there is someone, either one of us, is on B cap. He was on A, and yes, he's going to push on B now. So I'm going to pop up over here. What you will see now is that I have a very long aim time, so this would be a very slim shot. AP, no HESH, can't do crap. He is behind. Containers now. Can I shoot you with AP? No, you're looking at me. Miss me. Huh, thank you. Lovely. Like that. But chat, again, brilliant job you're going into C. And now I can safely shoot the E-100 with HESH in the back. Damage a truckload of modules from him. But he fired and he has about the same reload as I have, I think. More or less. And the Badger finishes off. Brilliant play. Well done. Brilliant play, mate. We worked as a team. We worked as a platoon, really. An ad hoc platoon. And this was a mastery for 5.3k. And that was because it was supremacy. I whacked a few tier 10 tanks. Took 150 supremacy points. But also, maybe the first shot on the T-54 was not frontline. Was spotted by someone else. But the rest was mostly frontlining. I was doing my own spotting and doing my own shooting. And that's why this one, the 5.3 damage game, gave me an ace, and the one on CASTILLA didn't. It has to do with from what position you shoot tanks. We have a bit of a strange beginning here on this game because of the 61 being AFK and I'm bumping into him. But this is going to be a fun game as well, I think. It's against supremacy. We are capturing B. We are capturing D. That means I can safely move in over here. I'm most successful now over here. Why? Reds will probably push towards the A cap. And yes, there is an E75. Maybe a HESH would have been fun, but didn't really want to risk it at that range. I'm popping adrenaline, hoping that E100 will stay spotted. So I am loading the HESH. And I'm sort of pre-aiming and thinking, right, might pop up over there. No, I'm not going to risk a shot. 2 tanks pushing on the A cap. Time to bugger off. Oh, hello tortoise. Yeah, lovely. Turn around. Turn around every now and then I get a little bit lonely. And one tank misses me. I set him on fire and get a lucky bounce there. Thank you, E100. You shot the tracks. But I parked myself slightly behind the building, made it hard for him to hit me. And now I'm just trying to look around. I'm trying to get a shot on the I7. Not really worth it yet. So I'm again gonna take my time now. Because I want to see what he's doing. He's not popping up. Right, time to relocate. Gonna take a look around. There is a Death Star over there. Thinking AP, right, aim in, then try HESH. There are some fences over there. Back to AP, right, can't shoot him. Keep the shot. Just keep the shot. I have a 20-second reload. Who's pushing in? We are capturing C. There's an I7 rolling in over there. We are winning by supremacy points very easily. But remember that E100, he was still there. There he is. Hello, E100. Say hello to HESH. There we go again. 1230, turret damage, ammo rack damage, lovely stuff. I'm going to roll back. I'm going to take a look at the minimap. What's the team doing? What's the red team doing? Can't shoot the Death Star, he's down below. Can't shoot the E100 down below. Lovely. There's a Leopard rolling up. Switch the ammo again. Into HESH. Into the back. Pray I don't hit the fence. No, I don't. Just delete them for 1513. Reload again. Can I shoot you in the engine deck? IS-7? Yes we can. Yes we can. Just roll down. Take your time to aim in. Complete reload into the engine deck of an IS-7. You are very well armored, Mr. IS-7. But you're mostly well armored from the front and not on your engine deck. And that means we have clocked up already 6.5k damage with a disgusting amount of HESH shots, and it's going to be a disgusting amount of credits spent. But you have to be creative with it. You have to be wary of what tanks are driving around in what position, and can you shoot them with HESH or not. Because the DPM with AP, as I've shown you, isn't that brilliant, but it's the HESH that makes this tank really obscene. Again, 6k damage game, 6.6k for 6 penetrating shots. And if you can do stuff like that to a Tortoise, a Leopard, the turret side of an E100 I7, that's just obscene and plainly disgusting, yeah. But all in all, great fun tank to play it. I hope you've liked the video. We're going to do a quick summary again and then wrap up. Like I said, keep the ammo selector open, learn what tanks you can ban with HESH. Don't just sit and camp, because you are the biggest support tank on the team and you have to make use of your good hitting power, and the team has to be able to use you as well. And avoid brawls with other tanks until the end game. That's it for now, ladies and gentlemen, tankers of Blitz Universe. I hope you've enjoyed the video. Subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll catch you all on the next one. Cheers, happy tanking, and bye bye.